Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of Married at First Sight. This is season 13, episode 10, and it was titled Locked Out. Alright, y'all, real quick before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button. Alright, y'all, so this episode, I'm gonna try to get through it. Because it triggered the hell out of me. So I'm gonna try to get through it. But like I said last week, this season really feels like a joke to me. And I don't really feel like any of these couples was matched up right. Like this episode, for some of the couples, it seemed like it was, you could see like, okay, that's why they was matched up. But that's just one episode out of 9. I mean, like 10. So yeah. Anyway, let's just jump into it. So it's between days 23 and 28. And they show everybody getting up and getting their day started. It's been over 3 weeks. And then we see, do little scenes like, I think Brett and Ryan was cooking breakfast. Bao and Johnny was doing yoga. It was a whole bunch of stuff. You know how they do. Let's start with Michaela and Zach. Let's just go and get them out the way. It was one get together and then like 2 ladies met, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward. But I have to go in the order to get to, because usually I try to get the get together out the way, but I gotta go in the order, because yeah. Anyway, let's start with Michaela and Zach. Why are they together? Can anybody tell me why they together? Like, this episode really, Zach triggered me, Michaela triggered me, Rachel triggered me, Jose triggered me. Like, it was like, we see Zach, he working out. He meeting up with some friends and stuff like that. The friends, the one who met with him one-on-one, asked him, like how everything going or whatever. He said it's been a long week. So they wanted to plan like a movie night or whatever. So he was just like, okay, well, let me go get my Apple TV so we can watch the movie that you want to watch on it. He goes to his apartment to get the Apple TV. He get all the way to his apartment. Now, Texas is very big. I don't know where they live at. Like, I know right now they're in Houston. However, I don't know, like, if everybody lives in Houston or they live, surrounding Houston or whatever. So, who knows how long it took him to get to his apartment. It could have took an hour for him to get to his apartment or whatever. Or, well, I hope it ain't take 2 hours, but it could have took an hour or whatever. So, who knows? But by the time he got to his apartment to get the Apple TV, he was tired. But no biggie. He at least texted Michaela and was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm not going to come back. So whatever. She was just like, okay. She did text him back and let him know nicely that, it hurt her feelings that he did not return because she had movie night planned and she was excited about movie night. And it hurt her feelings that he did not follow through with what he said he was going to do, which was go home, get the Apple TV, come back and watch some movies. So he flaked and then he was tired or whatever. So boom. But he said that they making progress. That didn't blow up into no fight or nothing like that. We see Dr. Viviana, she shows up, and so she asking, a lot of questions and stuff. Of course, she already know the background of them too, so she trying to figure out, like, how we can get them back together. I'm like, girl, no. So anyway, she asks Michaela, like, where's the trust level at? Michaela says 50%. Did y'all see how Zach had reacted to her saying that it was 50%? 50%. So that's like how you feel? Yeah, that's how I feel, like it's 50%, because you say that you're going to do something and then it doesn't happen. So I can't really like trust what you say. He like, oh, that's interesting. So then when Dr. Viviana asked him, he like, well, it depends on how you define trust. Now it's how you define trust. But I'm sure if she would have said it was a high number of trust for her, it wouldn't have been all this defined trust and all this other shit. But now we got to define trust. And so then he was like, because he don't like things that he doesn't like things that she does or whatever, and he's still holding on to her blowing up and squishing the Clorox wipies and walking out and all the other stuff. So this was what, last week, because this week 3 or whatever. So he still hold on to that, even though she apologized, she took accountability, she said what she did was wrong, she knows what she did was wrong, and she says she's not going to do it again. But he want to keep, and then he said he forgave her, right? Because he said he wanted to get to the positive place. Didn't he say all that during the dinner thing? So, but he's still holding on to it, and then he's still bringing it back up. So you still bringing it back up. You still regurgitating it to this girl that, oh, well, you blow up this, you blow. Like, how can y'all move forward if you want to keep holding on to it? And then he's saying he's scarred by her reaction. And it's just, what did he say? He's scarred by her reaction. And it's permanent damage. That's what he said. Permanent damage. So to me, that's permanent damage. Then what we moving forward for? Because that's already permanent damage. That means that can't be fixed or anything like that. You going to continue to bring it up. It can be we doing 2 years, we doing real good, and then here you go because something go wrong. Oh, see, remember 2 years ago you had that same blow up, and now you doing it again. Like, no. Michaela, go. Michaela ain't wrapped too tight herself. Zach ain't wrapped too tight. They both should not be in relationships right now. They both should have went through some extensive counseling, some extensive therapy, and figure out what their issues was before they got together. Married, because they married, okay? So they should have did all of this before they got married, because they are not ready to be in a relationship. So Dr. Viviana was like, so scarred, like, that's real big or whatever. And he like, well, I feel like it's a fundamental trait, and this is her, and so this is her feelings, because she like, well, you saying like my knee-jerk reaction is a fundamental trait, this is a characteristic of me, like I can't change or something like that. And I'm like, okay, Michaela, now your friends did call you Hurricane Michaela or whatever, so you got anger issues. That's why I'm saying, like, at any time during a freaking marriage thingy, nobody should be telling the other person that you got a temper where you just blow up and you like a category 5 type. No, that tells me that you ain't got the proper therapy and you don't know how to work out your anger or whatever. So you should not have been getting in this situation when you got married. Point blank, period. Anyway, he says that the scar can't go away. Dr. Viviana, like, I don't think it's a scar. It's more so as trust. And he like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like it can't go away. And that's how I feel. So the Michaela, like, she don't really feel secure in a marriage or whatever. And she said that she learning and she trying to get to know him and stuff. And so Dr. Viviana like, well, are you perfect? Talking to Zach. And he like, no. She was like, well, why do you expect her to be perfect? I said, girl. Boom. So he want everything to be so perfect. She not perfect. You not perfect. But yeah, you want this perfect bubble that does not exist. So he was just like, she was just trying to tell them, like, figure out y'all boundaries and figure out what's the trigger for each of you. And so y'all can, work on that or whatever. Child, Dr. Viviana leave. It's so tense in the freaking room. He go off the couch, because first of all, they was on the couch. She was sitting here. He's sitting all the way over here. So right there, you're showing the problem. But Dr. Viviana leave. He get up. He goes to the kitchen table or whatever. He start crying and cussing and he looked like he was about to slap himself in the head, talking about some, he can't process what he did wrong at this point, and I don't know what I did wrong and stuff, and I just understand and stuff. So then she by his side trying to console him. He pushing her away, like, no, I don't want all that. All this other stuff. And then he kept saying, like, she don't know, you don't know, I just wanted this so bad, and you just don't know, and you just don't know, I just wanted to... Michaela, run. It will not get better. Run. Like, you will always have this issue with Zach because he wants a perfect bubble, and that shit don't exist. And he will never, ever see what he doing wrong. He will never see how he, like I said before, her knee-jerk reactions, no. That was just No. However, he will not see what he did wrong, and that was not communicating with her, holding stuff back. You keep saying she don't understand, she don't never know, whatever, but you not explaining to her so she can understand and so she can get it. But you just want to blame her and point the finger at her, and that's bullshit to me. He's talking about something, he heartbroken and stuff. Like, I ain't got time for none of them. They both need to just part, get some counseling, and keep it moving. He set up a pool night for the both of them later on. I think it was like day 28, day 27, something like that. The water was warm and everything like that. They looked like they was having a good ass time. The experts gave them like this box, or what's it about? It was like a basket of stuff. And it was like this blindfold trust assignment. So each of them had to write down 7 questions to ask the other person, but the other person was blindfold, which was good because you couldn't really see the other person's reaction and stuff. So she asked him questions. What was her questions? Let me see. The first thing that attracted you, he said face, and it was some question about something. I forgot, but it was something. She was like, I'm sorry for my knee-jerk reactions and not being able to express myself. And then the other thing was change one thing, and then it was the amount of time that you hold on to things. So these was questions she was asking Zach. And what's that question she was asking Zach? That's what I put down, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, it was, because he was blind. He was blindfolded, and she was asking him stuff. I'm like, what in the world? So it was questions. She wrote these questions that she was asking him, and then it was when it was like, what thing you miss about me or something. And it was like the happy person that you once were or whatever. So he was like, he'll get back to that, and then he went and blindfolded her. And it was like the thing I most need, and it was understanding. And I feel like I'm getting this backwards because, yes, I am. The first one, she was blindfolded. The second one, he was blindfolded. Did I say that? I don't know, y'all. But because these was questions he was asking her. These was questions she was asking him, because she was just like, I'm trying to think of it how it was played out, y'all, but if I'm messing it up, please forgive me. But he asked her, she asked him, do you like me for me? And he said yes. And then he was like, so you don't know if I like you for you? He was blindfolded at this time. And she was like, no, I don't know if you like me for me or whatever. And so he kept asking her, like she was going to change the answer, but he kept asking the question in a different way. And so she was like, no, I really don't know if you like me for me. And he was like, well, I'm telling you right now, I do like you for you or whatever. And he was saying, she asked him, do you see a future with us or whatever? And he was like, right now, the future is doubtful, but I'm holding on to hope or whatever. So, of course, that hurt her feelings. And so she was just like, well, I still see a future. She told us, she was like, I still see a future with him, but he don't see a future for us. And that's just kind of like a uneven balance. And I feel I'm kind of helpless at this point or whatever. So it was kind of effed up. I just don't like Zach. I don't really care too much for Michaela, because like I said, she be doing too much in her reactions and stuff, and she just need to sit down. But if she don't know the proper tools to communicate appropriately and get her frustrations out appropriately, then she can work on that. However, her and Zach, that is toxic. It's real toxic, and they just need to separate, like right now, like literally right now. Because if they continue, he gonna break her down, and that's not right. That's because she not gonna know what she doing right, what she doing wrong. She gonna start self-doubting herself. All this stuff. Look, trust me, I've been there, done that, and never doing that shit again. So, girl, run. Brett and Ryan. Dr. V came over. She wanted to know how they was connected. Look, I spent 14 minutes on freaking Zach and Michaela, but they had a lot going on, y'all. And look, let's move on. Dr. V come over and she talked to both of Brett and Ryan. And then this is another couple where Eeyore, aka Ryan, needs to just figure out what the hell he want, okay? Because he's saying like he liked Brett. I keep about to call this child Ryan. He liked Brett or whatever. They still have not had any sex. They both like each other. They both are, well, she likes him more than he likes her. Because he waiting for these butterflies and rainbows and Cupid to come and shoot the arrow in his heart. And ain't nobody got time for all that bullshit. Like, either you like her or you don't like her. And he, to me, seems like he's not physically attracted to her. And that's okay to say, but just don't keep talking about you waiting for this, you waiting for that, and all this. Like, come on, he's talking about some, you a nice lady, but you this, but, and then so she getting teary-eyed because she done heard this shit before. Like, these is just a situation she been in before where, like, she dating somebody and they tell her, like, you a great person, but, and he like, well, I ain't say nothing negative about you, but you saying something is missing. Like, what is missing or whatever, and that's making her feel some type of way. And so my thing is, why the experts put them two together? Like, what? So Brett, because Brett want to get his emotions out, he don't know how to talk or whatever. So then he, Dr. Viviana was like, well, do y'all want to, I want to break it down, see where we going with this. So she sent Brett out the room, and so she having a conversation with him alone, and he's saying he just waiting for peace or whatever. So he just waiting for like a sign that it's okay for him to be with Brett. I don't know what he want. And then he's saying like, he said that Brett was real high stress, real high anxiety, and he real calm and stuff like that. But, and so she was like, okay, so that's some differences, but maybe that can work out, because if you are calm and she's high stress, you can show her different ways to reduce her stress and calm her down or whatever. And like, she's also asked him, like, what would make you be truly invested? Like, if she was your type, how would you be truly invested? So I'm like, so wait a minute. Y'all knew she wasn't his type, but y'all still put them together. Like, come on now, come on. And so he talking about he just waiting for that moment when he come home for work and he just want to put her up against the wall and, you know, just ravish her and stuff, but it's not there yet. She was like, well, that just happens in movies. And if you waiting for a fairy tale thing and based off of what you looking for, you might just be single. So then he ends up leaving after the discussion with Dr. Viviana. Like, we didn't see him leave, but he left for like what, a couple days or something, because Brett ended up meeting with Michaela. Let me see, I wrote that down somewhere. They didn't really talk about anything too tough, but she was saying like, yeah, because Brett met with Michaela, and she was saying like, if this was a dating situation, she'd have been like, you know what, you're not into me, I'm out. Like, and that's what it is. Like, he not into you like that, so why are we wasting our time? Like, I just don't understand. I just if you're not gonna be into somebody, you're just not gonna be into somebody. And it's been 3 weeks. Yes, that's a short period of time. However, they married. This ain't no regular relationship. But anyway, he finally came home after a couple days. She had cooked some dinner for them and stuff like that. And they sat down and talked and whatever. And she was saying like she felt rejected. And when she feels rejected, that it's hard for her to be vulnerable because she felt rejected. However, she don't want to give up because she really likes him and she sees like this could possibly go somewhere or whatever. And so she willing to play her role. I said, girl. So they sat down and they chatted, and he said that he needed a reset, and he got that reset, and he's feeling better. And that if he would have stayed in the house or the apartment, he was going to shut down and feel defeated, and he didn't want to feel like that or whatever. And he asked her to call him out on his bullshit. And what did he say? He said that he needs to be more vocal and communicate with her and whatever. And he wants the marriage to work, and he feels as though he's ready to continue with their relationship. So that made her smile and feel good. And then they had this Tantra Sex Class, and it kind of pushed them both out of their comfort zone. So I was just like, all right. I still don't see it for them because Eeyore, aka Ryan, and something going on with him that he not really sharing. And I don't know if it's because of the cameras or maybe we not seeing something that's going off camera, but something going on with him. And I wish he'd speak up in something because it's just not, yeah. Rachel and Jose, another couple that triggered the F out of me, and it was both of them. Like, it was literally both of them. So, they cooking or something, and they had these questions. So we saw the basket of questions with them before we saw it with the other couples, and it was a question about like what were you embarrassed about or something, and she said that she was embarrassed to tell him about her infidelity or whatever because of that whole once a cheater always a cheater type thing. And I'm like, that's exactly what your husband's saying off, behind the scenes, like in the confessional and stuff. That's exactly what he's saying, but he's not saying it to you. So Dr. Viviana, she came to visit and stuff, and she real happy with them. She real impressed by everything that's going on. They had sex. She was asking them, like, what's the best part of having sex? I'm like, Dr. Viviana, but she a whole sex, is she a sex therapist? But anyway, she was asking them about, sex and stuff. They all shy about it and awkward, but they did give it 2 thumbs up and stuff like that. And they both said that they fully trust each other and they was both happy. Child, we see Jose later on, maybe like a few days later or something, and he's on his own phone saying like they was at the clubhouse, they was chilling, and Rachel called him by a different person's name. So he pissed off, he mad. We see the next scene, or like a flashback or something, where the producer sitting at the kitchen counter, Jose standing up, and Rachel sitting next to the producer, and he going off. Okay, he is going off. So she apologized for calling him out, calling him a different person's name or whatever. And he was like, he like cussing. Like, if we ain't no effing boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm your effing husband. And all, like, he loud, he going off, yada, yada, yada. And so she was like, so this is how is she real calm? She like, this how you talk to your wife? Like, nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever talk to me like that. Like, he like, well then, cause I think she said she can go. He was like, well then get the F out then. Get the F out. Like, get the F out. Pack your bags and get the F out. Bounce. Like, bounce. You want me to throw this at you now or later? I said, is he talking about the ring? And is he about to throw this ring at her? See, he's doing too much. So she was like, is this who I'm married to? Was I married to the person who was all lovey-dovey? Or is this the person that I'm married to right now? He like, you know what? I gotta get up early in the morning. I ain't got time to be talking about this bullshit with you. I'm out of here. So next thing we see, next thing we see, he locked this girl out. He locked her out. So the next day they sitting there on the couch, or not the couch, they in the kitchen. He cooking steak or something like that. She at the kitchen counter. So he like, well, hey, how you doing? Hey, how I'm doing? No, that ain't how we roll like that. Like, you just cussed me out. You just did all this other stuff, and then you gonna act like everything copacetic. Like, no, that's not what we do. So he just like, casually just asking her, like, how your day going and stuff like that. She was like, so, and she like, what we not finna do is forget what happened last night. So you thought what you did last night was okay? Like, you just felt like what you did was okay, that was fine. So then he like, well, apparently not. And so she like, I don't trust you. And so she tells us how he locked her out. And we see the flashback. So she went to go walk the producer out. It's like 1 something in the morning. She went to go walk the producer out after that whole argument and stuff like that. She's standing in the hallway. I guess she was talking to the producer a little bit more before they left. Child, Jose goes to put he puts the deadbolt on the door. The deadbolt on the door. He put the deadbolt on the door, walked back over there to the kitchen, turned the lights off, and went to bed. She knocked on everybody's door at 1 something in the morning trying to get in because she locked out. So she done went to Gil and Marila's house. She done went to Zach and McKay. Like, she going down the list trying to get in or whatever because this girl locked out. So then she calling her friends and like, I need a place to stay because I'm locked out of my apartment. My husband and locked me out of my apartment. So he just like real nonchalant, like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, okay, like, I like no apology, no I'm sorry, no nothing. So she like, I don't feel like I feel like I hit a wall with you. And he steady cooking, so he not really paying her no attention. So she like, I don't feel like you got no remorse. I don't feel like you not apologetic. Like nothing. So you know what? I cannot be your wife. He like, okay, awesome. Sounds good. All right. So she was like, okay, so I'm gonna just go pack my things. He was like, oh, okay, well, if you need any help, just let me know. I'll help you out. I said, so he giving this whole nonchalant, I don't give a F attitude or whatever. And so the producer come out and talk to him like, well, what's going on? He was like, you know what, that's not my fight. If she want to leave, she can leave, like, peace. I said, but that's your wife though. But you not even trying to fight for her in this marriage or nothing like that. So then she go inside the room and she talking to the producers and stuff like that. And she like, you know what? I do got something to ask him because I want to know like if he want to improve on this, like he want to do this or whatever. So she come back out and she like, I need you to give me some eye contact so I know that you paying attention to me or whatever like that. So she pull out her phone and she talking about something. She wrote something 2 weeks ago about a conversation that was controlling and stuff like that, and it was like she don't fit the perfect wife mold and all this other stuff, child. So that triggered the F out of me because like you wrote something down 2 weeks ago on how you feel as though I'm being controlling and that you don't fit the perfect wife mold and that you want to leave and all this other stuff. But yeah, you ain't discussed it with me. You ain't telling me what your feelings was. You still acting like everything is fine. And so he was just like, so you up here, he felt betrayed. So he like, so it was all puppies and rainbows, but you was holding this back for me like 2 weeks ago, like make it make sense or whatever. And he was like, that's not fair to me or whatever. And she was like, you know what? I can admit when I'm wrong, but you can't admit when you're wrong and you don't take no accountability for anything. And I said, you know what? Both y'all done triggered the hell out of me. So I'm just gonna move forward. Child, because then when we get to this whole meetup, y'all, this review gonna be long because okay. Gil and Merlin. Oh, Rachel and Jose need to separate. They part ways. Bye-bye. Deuces, it ain't gonna work. Gil and Merlin, Dr. V came over to talk to them and stuff, and she asked them like where is he at, where are they at in the relationship or something like that on a scale from 0 to 10, and she rated it a 7, he said an 8, and then she rated the physical intimacy a 7. He was like, for real? Like, you really think it's a 7? And he rated it a 5, and it's because she is like, my intimacy is different from you. I take my time. So where we at right now is fine with me. Like, I like to cuddle. Like, I like to get to know you in this way. But for you, it's different. So whatever. They didn't argue or nothing like that. He ultimately was just basically like, he want a kiss. And a kiss and sex is basically the same thing for her. Because she said in her past, she was cheated on and stuff. So she don't want to give herself up too quickly like she did before. And I'm like, girl, because she want to be spiritually, mentally, and physically connected to the person. Girl, you can be all of those things and that person will still cheat on you. Okay, so it is nothing that you doing. It is mostly the person who cheated because they already knew they had a commitment with you. So that's on them. Don't put that on you, Merla, or whatever. But she wants to wait until she's connected to him on all those things before she gives herself up as far as sexually or a kiss or whatever. So she said, because he was like, well, if I don't get a kiss at the week 8 or whatever, then we getting divorced. She was like, well, you're not divorcing me. So he was like, oh, well, to me, that means I'm gonna get a kiss. She was like, maybe you'll get a kiss or whatever like that. And just wait and see. So then they did their assignment. Child, she was so damn rigid. She didn't want to do nothing. It was like, theirs was different. It was a blindfold. I think it was like a blindfold. I guess it was a blindfold trust thing, but theirs had more like intimacy type things, like kissing, taking a shot from the belly, kissing the belly. She was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing no body shot. I'm not putting no blindfold on because of my lashes. I said, Lord, Gil got the patience of Job because And then one of the questions was, show me how you want me to initiate sex. She was just like, no. So they did at least do one, which was like cuddle in a comfortable position and listen to each other breathe. And that was real, like, you know, real intimate and stuff like that. She said it was more emotional for her, and then she felt more relaxed or whatever. And then we saw like a scene. Oh no, then I'm sorry. The producers had asked her, did this make you feel a little bit closer to giving Gil a kiss? And she was like, oh yes, a peck. He'll get a peck soon. I said, not a peck, girl. But that was pretty much it for them. This episode made it seem like I said, Gil and Mirla could be a nice couple together, but they both gotta give. They both gotta give. He is more giving and more patient and more willing to work with her than she is, because she's child. Ooh, child. But if she get that stick out her ass, then they be all right. They could be okay. Bao and Johnny, they did a little thing where, let me see. They did a blindfold. Was they blindfolded? No, they did a questions game. These was the only people. No, I think Jose and Rachel did it, but I don't think we saw the pieces of paper. And I want to say Gil and Mirla did it too, but we just ain't see the pieces of paper. But they did like this whole, you know, like the fishbowl thing where you write all these questions down, you put them in a bowl and stuff like that. And one of the questions for her was, what was her biggest insecurity? And she feels as though she has to do it all. He feels as though he's not living a purposeful life. And he says he played it safe all the time. And this situation of Married at First Sight actually pushed him out of his comfort zone. And then the other question was, what have you been embarrassed about or whatever? And she said she grew up poor and her dad was like the town drunk or whatever. So she had a hard time inviting people over to her home. And she did have like some friends or whatever, because she did explain when she got off the bus, she would walk past her trailer, because she lived in a dilapidated trailer or whatever. So she would walk past it because she didn't want people to know. And he was like, so you ain't had like no neighbors that was friends? And she said, I did, but since my dad was the neighborhood drunk, he ruined that, because the kids would come over and then be like, you know what, I can't play with you or whatever. My mama don't want me to play with you because of your dad or whatever. So that, you know, made her feel some type of way. And so Johnny was real, not excited, but happy that she was able to be vulnerable with him in that way. Then Dr. V came and, you know, she said she was impressed on how they're handling things and how they're getting through the tough times and how they're talking and stuff. And Johnny said that he'll put her through little tests and stuff. And like that morning, he wanted to, you know, make up the bed together, but she was more delegating to him than helping. And he said he likes when they do things together. And then she was like, yeah, because he told me when we was cooking one time, he was checking me out. I was just like, oh my God, I just didn't know. I was just like, girl, bye. And so then they tell them that they did have sex and it was quite vanilla, but wow, you could see she wanted to get into some freaky stuff. She was like, well, we can move past a little vanilla. You know, it's going to be okay. Cracking up. And she said she wants sex daily or every other day. I said, okay, bow, get it, girl. And then they got this basket, and their basket was more intimate too. And they blindfolded each other, and then they had like these sex dice where they was kind of rated G, and it was like kiss neck, blow neck on the floor, kiss navel, stuff like that. So they was doing that. It was real cute. And then the meetup. So the meetup was the girls had went minus Michaela because she wasn't feeling well. They went to this rage room, and then the guys went to play golf. So Ryan and Jose did not come to play, but they came with their own golf clubs. Ryan was like, look, I just brought these golf clubs, and that's too high. You need to put that down. You see, he play golf all the time. But anyway, we see the girls, they breaking up stuff. They getting their rage out and stuff. It's looking good. So we see the guys, they golf and they stand to talk. And Gil lets us know that he got his first kiss. And then they showed it. It was real cute and stuff. And he got 2 of them. And one day they was like, oh, okay, man. And so then Jose go to tell his side of the story. But his side don't even make no sense, and it's not flowing. So he basically lying to make himself look good and not say like what he did wrong in the situation. And that triggered the beep out of me, because it was just like it was all her fault, but yet you was leaving out all these holes. And I was so glad that the guys had called him out on this shit, because they like, well, it just don't make no sense. Like, what is, like, fill in the blanks type thing. So he gonna say, what he say? He was just like, yeah, so my wife, she just asked me for a divorce or whatever. That's how he started off the story. So they was like, what? The divorce? Like, what happened up to that point? So he was just like, you know, she called me out somebody else's name and stuff, and then with the whole cheating thing, you know, I felt some type of way or whatever. So, you know, we got into like this argument and whatever, and then she left. So I ain't know like where she was going or whatever. So I went to bed, and you know, I lock up every night, and so I locked the doors and stuff like that. And then I went to bed, and they looking like, but did you call her and see where she was going? Like, did you call her and see if she was coming back? He was like, no, you know, I was feeling, you know, I was tired and stuff like that. And I mean, she left. Like, I ain't know what they was like, but did she take her stuff? Like, what was going on or whatever? And so, of course, he don't tell them that he argued with her. He was cussing her ass out, telling her to get the F out. So you keep telling me to get the F out, but then you surprised when I leave out the house, like, boy, bye. And then he ain't put in where he ain't apologized, where he did her dead ass wrong. He ain't put none of that in there. He just made it look like it was all her fault. And then Ryan was like, well, it's gonna come out. The name that she called him was Johnny. At first, I thought Ryan was joking, but he was serious because Jose ain't correct him or nothing like that. And I'm like, yo, y'all all in this tight little bubble. Jose, Johnny, that's both start with a J. And it could have been like a mistake. Maybe y'all was just talking about Johnny or something. Maybe she just saw Johnny. Maybe something triggered her to say Johnny. It's not like she was sleeping with, you thought she was sleeping with fucking excuse me, y'all. It pissed me off. It was just like a slip of the tongue. Like, and then I'm sure she was like, oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Like, that is not, I don't know why I just called you Johnny. It wasn't like she called him Jesus or Hector or I don't know, Jerome or something like that, where they not even in the same circle. She called him Johnny and they in the same circle. So Jose was just doing too much. And for the fact that all the guys was like, well, I ain't never accidentally put on no deadbolt on no door. And then the fact that he went to sleep. So he didn't even care where she was. Like, that's a red flag all around. Like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Racial bounce, okay? And so she on the other side, because they was like, well, do she still love you? She still want to be in a relationship. She was like, I do not love him anymore. Like, he just crossed the line with all the trust. And like, he was deflecting, blaming it on her, and then trying to pin it on her. And then he was being very vindictive. And so the girls was like, yeah, like, that don't even make no sense what he did or whatever. And then she was just like, he just don't emotionally care for me. What she say? He don't want to, he just, what to say? I don't want you to, then when they was at the kitchen table, he said something. Like, it was something like, I love you or something, but he was like, well, I don't want to tell you what you want to hear or whatever. So then you holding back information from me that would make me feel good? What? So, that's a mind fuck right there. Been there, done that, pieced it out. Okay? Get out. Rachel, run. Okay? So she like, I cannot anymore. And he like, well, maybe I can regain her trust. I did send her a text telling her that I loved her or whatever. She like, I don't. So child, no, it ain't no hope for none. No, I don't see no hope for none of them, but y'all let me know what y'all felt in the comments down there. Like I said, this episode triggered the F out of me. And look, what else they got in store for us? Because this whole season is a freaking joke. And how many episodes we got to sit through this? Because I'm telling you. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all felt down there in the comments. If y'all are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you ended up liking this recap review or this rant, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button along with the share button. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.